Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to follow up with my previous video with Tank and his girlfriend. The reason why I wanted to follow up with this is because I'm seeing that there's still backlash, and it's really quick. If you like this video, please like, please share, and please subscribe to the channel. You can take the opportunity right now to click that subscribe button. Also, you can hit that thumbs up button. It really does help and support the channel. So let me just break this down. First and foremost, before anything, I want to say Gervonta Tank Davis was exonerated. All charges dropped. It was made up. It didn't happen. He didn't do what he was accused of doing, what he was arrested for. He did not do it. So and the reason why I'm saying that, and the reason why I'm starting with that, is because over the past few days, there have been a lot of people in combat who unfortunately have actually been at fault with men hitting women. And the biggest name would be Dana White, the president of the UFC. And there's actually video footage of him striking his wife. Let me explain something to you. Dana White is well over 200 pounds. Dana White is jacked. Dana White's biceps are bigger than his wife's head, just to give you context. Okay, his wife is probably like 115, maybe 130 soaking wet. Dana White is a very big guy, especially in comparison to his wife. And for him to hit her, not cool. Now, there's another individual, also a former MMA fighter. I used to watch him a lot. He fought in Pride Fighting. To all you don't know, I actually do know a lot about MMA. I actually have trained in BJJ. I was actually doing that before the pandemic. And for many years, I've trained in traditional martial arts, Muay Thai. So, I know a little something. I've also been watching MMA, since like 97 with Dan Stern and all those guys. So like, yeah, I know a little something. I just never really touched on it that much. I have in the past briefly, but I never really touched on it. I wanted to establish myself with boxing and then transition over to all combat sports. That was just a little side note. But the reason why I'm saying this is because Phil Baroni actually took his girlfriend's life in Mexico. Apparently, what looks like it's coming out is he beat her to death. He struck her multiple times, in which case her life was taken. Now, why am I bringing that up and linking it to Tank? I'm not the one linking this to Tank. The overall media is linking this to Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis, all charges have been dropped. Stop linking his name to Dana White. We actually have video footage of Dana White, an over 200-pound man, striking his wife. Not cool. We got video footage of it. Phil Baroni is currently incarcerated because apparently he beat his girlfriend to death. All right, so they're not the same. Don't link Tank's name with these two. They're separate. They're extreme, and they're separate. He's an innocent man, and you're linking him with guilty men. Not cool. And by linking him, it basically, let's look at it like this. And I'm talking to, about widespread media. I'm talking about like big media. The reason why they do this is because, let's just say there's an incident that happens. I don't know, something bad happens, whatever. Somebody hits somebody, fine. Somebody hits somebody. Well, if it's only one person who did it, we would just be talking about that person for the entire time that we talk. So let's say my videos, for example, a lot of them are 10 minutes long, 10 minutes plus. So if that happened, well, then I'd be talking about that individual with that particular situation for 10 minutes plus, correct? But if there were multiple individuals, well, then I would segue those down. I'd be like, all right, 2 minutes for this guy, 2 minutes for this guy, and 2 minutes for this guy. And before you know it, at most, all three of them would get 3 minutes out of that 10-minute video. So it doesn't seem as extreme because I didn't talk about it that much. That's what's going on right here. What's transpired with Dana White, the only thing that sets him apart is it was videotaped. It was videotaped, and everybody saw him strike his wife. Yes, and I'm gonna throw this out there. Yeah, she hit him first. But just because somebody hits you first, what, you gotta react? You gotta respond? You're over 200 pounds. You're over 200 pounds. I'm a welterweight, 150 down. Like, I'm not a big guy. Me putting my hands on somebody versus Dana White at over 200 pounds putting his hands on somebody, there's a difference. There's a difference. I personally don't think that a man should be hitting a woman. I don't care. And if you're going to get on here and say, well, she hit him first, I could care less. I could care less about you saying that. I could care less about him being hit first. I could care less. I don't want to hear that, especially when you're a multimillionaire like Dana White and I know you have security. I don't want to hear that. I don't walk around with security. I am my security. Okay? So and I'm not dealing with that situation. I can get away. When you have security, when you have these big men who walk around with him, I don't want to hear she hit him first. I don't want to hear that. That's not an excuse. It's not. The only reason why we're talking about it is because somebody videotaped it. But who knows what goes on in that household? The reason why I'm bringing this up again is because this was linked to Gervonta Tank Davis. All the major media outlets keep saying, wow, this is happening all week. It started with Gervonta Tank Davis. And no, it did not start with Gervonta Tank Davis. Why? Because Gervonta Tank Davis is innocent. So it did not start with Gervonta Tank Davis. It did not start with him. He's innocent. All charges, once again, have been dropped. His girlfriend said it's not true. Period. He's vindicated. Stop linking him. Phil Baroni. I used to like Phil Baroni back in the day. He used to fight in Pride. He fought in a few places, but I think his most notable fights were in Pride Fighting Championships over in Japan. And I liked Phil Baroni because he was like this tough Italian New Yorker, and he had really good boxing. Like, boxing in MMA today is not the best, but boxing back in the day was even lower. But Phil Baroni had great hands. He had good boxing footwork. I honestly, I don't really know why he didn't pursue boxing. I felt like, he wasn't much of a kicker. He wasn't much of a wrestler. And he definitely didn't do much groundwork at all, especially jiu-jitsu. So I really don't know why he chose the route of MMA, but he would have been a much, much more effective boxer. So that's the reason why I liked him. Plus, he had his swag. He would come out with his shades on and everything like that. But this is shocking and sad at the same time. You take the Dana White situation, this just throws it to 100 because somebody lost their life. Somebody lost their life. And I'm sorry, you're a trained and professional athlete. Well, once were a professional athlete, but you are trained. You have been trained for many years. And it's sad, that's extreme. But again, you should not put your hands on a woman. Listen, here's another thing. If you're that size and you're that skilled, like you're skilled enough to make fighting a profession, you should easily be able to get it out of a situation like that without physical harm. No problem. Same thing with Dana White. Dana White, I do know he used to box back in the day before he actually got into the business of the UFC. He's from Boston, which is definitely a boxing town, and he actually used to have a boxing gym. So he's no stranger to throwing his hands. And at one point, he was even going to have a fight with one of his fighters, Tito Ortiz, I believe. Yeah, so he's no stranger to throwing his hands. Like, you can take a blow. And I'm saying this as a man. Sometimes you just gotta humble yourself and know I might feel weak in a situation because I allowed somebody to treat me in a weak manner, but I'm actually being strong in this situation because I'm choosing to have control over myself, which utterly has control over the situation. Because if I choose to retaliate against the weaker physically of the sexes, it turns into something much other than what it is, period. And in which case, what a lot of these guys, a lot of guys in general, when these situations are happening, you have to ask yourself, all right, maybe it was just an argument or whatever, but you also have to ask yourself, who am I dating? Who am I dating? Like, real talk. Who am I dating? Who am I dating? Where did I find this person? Has this person always shown these characteristics? And why am I still with this person, knowing that they have this enraged part of them that can come out at any given time, especially toward me? Why am I still with this person? That's also a question. And again, now this goes to Tank and everybody. I don't care if you're just a man, if you're a lady, this doesn't pertain to just men. Okay, it doesn't pertain to just men. Who are you dating? That's the question. Who are you dating? It's one thing if you've only known somebody like 10 days and they blow up on you. But if you've known somebody like 10 years, I'm sorry. Why are you still with this person? You know this is in them, and you know when they're angry, this is how far they're willing to take this situation. They're willing to take it to physical violence. In Gervonta Tank Davis's case, she's willing to take it to the authorities with a lie, something that's not true and it's made up. And it's very hard for Tank to prove that he's innocent. Why? Because he's a professional fighter. He's a professional fighter, and he's been arrested before. It doesn't matter what he's been arrested for in the past, but he's been arrested before. That's the only thing that they're going to see. Well, you've definitely been on paper before, and you're a professional fighter, so we could definitely see that you could do this. You do hit people for a living. It's very hard for him to prove his innocence. If it weren't for her change of heart, or maybe guilt or shame, whatever caused her to tell the truth, not cool. Like, just overall, not cool. And I've been in those situations. And I'm saying this as a man who's been in this situation. And I didn't resort to hitting. I left. I didn't come back. I learned. That's why I'm saying you can't leave. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to swallow your pride. Okay, you don't feel macho in this moment. You don't feel like a man in this moment. Whatever. You got out of the situation safely, because Gervonta Tank Davis can tell you better than I can in this situation. You can come out looking like a real creep when you're innocent. When you're innocent. You come out looking like a creep. The best thing to do is walk away. The best thing to do is, if she wants to look at it like it's an L, and I'm saying this to the ladies as well, who are you dating? Listen, in terms of sports in general, this happens a lot. Baseball, basketball, football, boxing, MMA, this happens a lot. It happens a lot. And it's not a thing of, or they're athletes and they're alphas. No. This is a thing of who are you dating? That's what this is a thing of. This is the person you chose to bring home to your mama? Who are you dating? Who are you dating? Where did you find this person? Is this the first time? And if it is the first time, what did you do after the first time? Did you say, let's get counseling? Did you say, maybe we need we need to surround ourselves with other couples and possibly older couples to guide us in our journey as a couple? What are you doing? Because if you're not doing these things, well, guess what? History's bound to repeat itself. And then what? Dana White said that he was been with his wife like over 30 years. And you mean and you claim this is the first time? If she feels comfortable enough to hit you in public, in a public place, and you feel comfortable enough to hit her back, my basic common sense tells me this is not the first time this has happened in your household. What have your kids seen? That's a question. What have your kids seen? What have your kids heard? So that's basically this video. I just wanted to set the record straight from a lot of other media outlets who constantly keep linking Gervonta Tank Davis's name to the other controversies of the last week. And he is nowhere near these guys because he's innocent. Okay? He's innocent. I don't care about what happened over a year ago. I'm talking about present day. You can't hold this guy to something that happened in the past. Not present day. That's not fair. That's not fair, and we can't do that. But don't link him with these two other individuals. One individual who actually took his lady's life, and the other individual who struck his wife on camera. Obviously, he didn't know the camera's there, but still, he's not the same. They're guilty. They are absolutely guilty. Gervonta Tank Davis is not guilty. I repeat, Gervonta Tank Davis is not guilty. And do not hold him to what's being said about the other two guys. That is not fair. And he's an innocent man in the matter. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel.